Hello, guys. Welcome again to our channel. This is Paul, the agronomist, and today I have a farmer who is having questions for us pertaining to tomato farming, and we are going to answer these questions. And every farmer, any other field personnel who is watching this video will be able to get insights. For today, we are in the office, but we do have practical sessions which will be coming. So we're just going to answer the questions. So welcome, farmer. We are going to welcome questions, and we'll just give you the chance to go straight away. Ideal conditions, that's a good question when you are growing tomatoes. First, tomatoes require daylight. Tomatoes require water, too much water. They take a lot of water. Tomatoes also are kind of susceptible to pests and diseases. They quite often attack. So they grow well when they are pest and disease free. They also need fertile soils. Yes, so those are some of the ideal conditions, which are the major. After I just mentioned the major. Yes. Mm. Oh, the tomato varieties. Some of the tomato varieties. First, they are categorized. We have determinate and indeterminate. Again, we have the open field and indoor varieties. So for the determinate, these are sort varieties which actually grow outside. They grow at a certain height, actually the knee height. They are crops which can last for 3 months. You do harvesting once. Then indeterminate, these are tall varieties which grows majorly in the greenhouses, but also they take so much time for you to now finally do away with the crop. They take like 6 months in the growing fields, be it in the greenhouse or in the open environment. Yes. Oh, tomatoes, as I mentioned, the varieties are different. Now it is the issue actually of variety. There are varieties which take uh, 75 days. So actually the variation is between 75 days to 90 days, depending on the variety. So the fastest takes 75 days. You can calculate the months out of that. Uh, yes. Yeah. So from there, You can find variety which does between 2.5 months. There's variety which takes 3 months. There's variety which take 4 months. So it's the variety you have that will determine, yes. Mm. The best time to plant tomatoes is when you are planting outside. The best time to plant tomatoes is the time when it is dry, when the conditions are not uh, humid or wet, the raindrops. Yes, so the best time is between August and November. And again, you can do another farming between January and March before the long rains. So I'm talking when you are farming in East Africa. It is advisable you do tomato farming during the short rains period rather than the long rains. And when it rains or when you have done irrigation, it is good to apply fungicides thereafter. Fungicides, when I talk of fungicides, it does not mean that it has to be chemical. Nowadays, we have biofungicides, which have been made from natural plants, and they act the same as the conventional ones. Yes. Oh, the best time to plant tomatoes. Yeah, the best time to harvest tomatoes is when conditions are also still dry. Because when it is shining, that daylight, it helps in ripening the tomatoes. So when the tomatoes are in the fields, you find they are turning the colors quite much often. At that time, or what you can actually do is harvest when it is already uh, when there's no dew. Let's say when there's no dew, you harvest tomatoes. Now in the store, it requires cooler conditions or cooler temperatures. If you are a farmer without preservation equipment, pour the tomatoes on the soil, on the floor. Actually, the cemented floor always acts as a preservation here in Africa. But if also you are able to afford a cooler, it is good it be in a cooler or whatever means you will have that can preserve it. But again, when transporting the tomatoes, these people have those refrigeration equipments inside the trucks. They will be storing them as they go to their destinations. When they reach their destinations, tomatoes, we do increase the shelf life when they are still in the farm. So tomatoes can take a long time before they go bad. So it is about the modern technologies and also incorporating the technologies we've had before. Yes. Increasing profitability is about reducing the cost of production. When you reduce the cost of production, you maximize the profits. And reducing cost of production, a farmer needs to use locally available materials. If you are talking about soil fertility, make your own compost with the animal manure, the green matter, the dry leaves on the farm. There are also agroforestry trees which are in the farm, which you can just have them and their leaves, you incorporate them into the soil and they decompose. And these you can use to grow crops sustainably. Again, when it comes to pests and disease control, do good agricultural practices. Practice crop rotation, uh, mulch, conserve the soil, And if the damage is severe, at times there are natural products from the farm, including the garlic, the gingers, peppers. They can be used to make natural uh, insecticides, natural fungicides, and even natural foliars, the boosters. So that one we'll discuss in maybe some videos to come on certain products which can be made to actually treat uh, pests and disease in tomatoes, and also to in boosting the tomato crops. Yes. Mm. Yeah, when you talk of genetically modified foods, I think in our countries, it has kind of raised a lot of alarms or questions. Most people are not buying the idea of using GMOs. You find out that these are crops which some things they are not natural. They are things which have been inserted into them to make them look better just from the outlook. So for me, actually I'm against genetically modified foods, and I would request not to comment on GMOs. Mm, mm, yes. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's now a good question. Making tomato farming sustainable. As I've mentioned, now we have practices which are good to the environment, good to the how do you call the workers, the soil. Yeah, we protect the soil. So this is where now we bring in the agroecology practices, where we're talking of organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture, yeah, such kind of farming. So this one, which means we have locally available materials. We are doing integrated farming, whereby one enterprise supports the other in a circular way. For instance, fish, growing fish, fish use its water, which is very fertile when farming the crops. The crops will go back to feed the chicken, and the chicken in return fertilize the ponds. So in such a circular way, you are able to control the use of harmful things in the environment, because when you use conventional means, they are going to help us within a short time, but again after a short period our soils will not be functional anymore. Yes, so let's use those things that will work for this generation, and even help the next generation coming in the next 50 or 100 years to come. Yes. Yes. Mm. Yes, in tomato farming, some of the technologies which we do appreciate is now coming up with varieties which are resistant to certain conditions, certain pests, certain diseases. For instance, the soil-borne pests, those are which are resistant to the fusariums. Uh, those are, yeah, there are so many. There's the mosaics. So these varieties, you find they can withstand. Some also can withstand the dry conditions because, as I've said, tomatoes need water, but now they have been made in a way that they can grow even with less water and they do well, or do well in regions which are dry, or do in regions which are so wet. Still, they can also grow tomatoes. Yes. Mm. Another technology we embrace, we do appreciate is fertigation, where when you are doing irrigation, you combine both water. You can combine fertilizers with it. You can and again now another technology is on the irrigation, which is the drip irrigation, quite water saving. It's more efficient. Yeah, those are some kind of technologies we embrace in tomato farming. Yeah, and also the use of traps, where you can trap insects, the insect pests, which might be feeding on on our crops, or your crops there in the fields. Yeah, so technologies are coming and people advance day by day. Yes. Mm, mm, mm. Reducing post-harvest losses. Number one, I talk of planting varieties which are resistant to certain conditions. And this one now, even when you are harvesting these varieties, you'll find out that they have long shelf life, and this one will help a farmer to store them even for some days before taking them to the farm. Another one is having good storage facilities. Uh, Naturally, I do talk about tomatoes. Uh, this floor, the cemented floor, do has the ability to hold tomatoes for a period. But if you're a farmer who is able to purchase equipment, including the cold storage, you can preserve these uh, these tomatoes. Also, the market you provide this produce can also be having those trucks which pick the fruits from the farm, and they have these equipments. Another thing of reducing post-harvest losses is thinking in line of value addition, adding value to this tomatoes before they go to the market. If you can be making how do we call them, the tomato sauce, yeah, yeah. So you can think in line of value addition, and by this you will ensure that you don't have so much losses in the farm. Yes. So that's all. Yeah, that's all. And thank you so much for your questions. I know most farmers watching us are going to find this one beneficial, and we'd like to hear from you on the comment sections. Some of the crops you are doing, and some of the crops you'd like us to have discussions about in the near future. If you haven't subscribed and you are watching this video right now, you can consider subscribing to get more of videos like this. Uh, you can comment on the comment section. We get your opinions, and we do as you desire. Thank you. Cheers.